I mean, I think the food industry falls a little outside of that in the same way that a sort of a service industry does, because you actually, although I'm a service industry that actually covers a lot of different palettes, so to speak. I think for me, what I needed to identify was the location that I'm going to open up in, going to draw the client that I wanted to have cross my threshold. And once I got them in my door, how am I going to keep them coming back? And, you know, marketing in the restaurant industry, I'm sure that there are lots of people who would dispute me, but I actually spend very, 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 very little money. I think in my last fiscal year, we did $1.6 million in gross revenue at the Sister, and I spent $7,000 on advertising. And that's for Now Magazine, essentially, to market the music. And that to me was expensive. Because really in the food industry, what people come back for is because they've enjoyed themselves, they've had good service, they've liked the food, they've enjoyed the atmosphere, even with peeling paint and dirty carpets sometimes, which, you know, the Sister tends to be a bit different than the other locations. But if they want to come back, they will come back because they enjoyed themselves. And no matter how much I spend on posters and signs that say, you know, come to Mitzi's because we serve great food, I believe that my energy has to be spent on managing my staff in such a way that they do that growth for me. They're my insurance plan. That the kitchen staff are also my insurance plan. That the people who are there as employees are as proud of what they put out as I want them to be. So I think it all comes back to being able to have some control over your product and to manage your growth and your customer relations and your niche market all through that. It's all about the experience that they're going to have. And I do think it's different for the food industry. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true for other industries where there's actually a product that you're selling. I think it's different. And we have to target it at a certain price point as well. We're not an incredibly cheap restaurant, and we're not an incredibly expensive restaurant. So the financial aspect of it is also part and parcel of what determines my clientele is going to look like. And I do that consciously. Like, I make those decisions consciously. So really, that would be how it would be looked at from my industry, from sort of the food industry.